She's I adore her. I grew up watching her, loved her, found her to just be one of the great film clowns there are. And then about a year and a half ago, I directed an episode of Shameless, which takes place in the west side of Chicago. And they shoot it in LA and Chicago. And Joan lives in Chicago with her husband and kids, and has a very wonderfully, compellingly normal life, you know? And I got to know her through that show. And afterwards, I was just like, please, let's stay in touch. I just want to put you in everything. And I did. As soon as I knew that we had money for this, I was like, come be in this movie, come be in this movie, come be in this movie. She's great. She is exactly as you would think. She's completely authentic to herself. One of the funniest people I've ever met. And yeah, there's nobody like her.
I mean, she looks so different than she did in Shameless. I mean, it's
when we were about to wrap the film, my wife and I had our first son. We have one son, but our son was born about 3 weeks after we finished shooting, and she was obsessed with this fact. And when it was on her last day, when we were breaking for lunch, Joan came to me and she said, "James, I have something for you." And it was this piece of paper with all these buttons on it. And she had gotten it at an antique store driving up from Chicago. And I was like, what is this? And she said, "It's just buttons for your son. One day he'll need buttons." I was like, "He will need buttons. Thank you very much." And then I gave her a big hug. That's Joe Cusack. She gave me buttons I didn't even know that I needed yet. That my future son would need.
And you still have these buttons?
Oh God, yes, it's great. No, it's in his nursery.
So, I mean, I know a little bit about babies. Babies are snaps and zippers. They're not buttons.
Yeah, no, babies need buttons. Babies should be nowhere near buttons, but it's on the wall.
We have time for one or two more questions.
Oh, I got a question. I really liked the movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I mean, it was just so completely emotional. And I mean, there's so many people that can actually identify with that movie because of the fact that so many people, because I actually live in Hawaii, and yeah, so I was like heartbroken over some women in my life, and so I could totally understand what you went through and the depression and everything. And in this movie that you're in,
Can you turn on his microphone?
well, in this movie that you're in is dealing with some depression, and I've dealt personally, don't want to admit, I've dealt with a lot of depression in my life and a lot of anxiety and everything else, and and I've had friends that have committed suicide. Not that I would. I always think if I can make it through the day, that's great. But anyway, I just want to say that your movies are just extraordinary. And I even saw the movie, I think it's called My Brother Jeff or something like that. Jeff, and that was like very, very personal. I mean, it's like, they're all so personal. And I mean, are these from your own personal life's experiences that you actually are acting on pulling in your own personal experiences of life, like especially like the heartbreak in Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Yeah, well, I think, I really think that the best thing you can do is try to find the parts of us that are all the same when you're acting versus the parts of you that, that are different or special. I think we're all really similar. It's a belief that I have is that we're all basically the same with different upbringings and a sort of different set of circumstances, but I really do think everyone feels the same. And so I just try to focus on that, I think.
I just want to say one last thing. In Hawaii, I had some Japanese girls come up to me and they go, Jason Segel to me. I don't even look like him. I guess it's like how Japanese all look kind of